Welcome to ProBeta's quick video tutorials. In this video, we'll be discussing document 1121, Laws and Regulations. The objective of this document is to obtain a general understanding of the legal and regulatory framework applicable to the entity and the industry in which the entity operates, and how the entity is complying with that framework. Document 1121, Laws and Regulations, can be found under the Risk Assessment folder in your Caseware document library. Please note that this document is not required for small entities, but can be enabled by clicking on this button. Once it has been enabled manually, it will have the same format as that for large entities. When opening the document for the first time, you'll notice the document is blank and only shows the Select Acts button. Once you click on the Select Acts button, a document will launch containing potentially relevant acts. Note that if required, you can add additional laws by emailing a request to probesupport@probeta.co.za. The names of the laws, acts, and regulations, as well as a short description of each, will be displayed. Using the drop-down selection box, identify which laws, acts, or regulations are relevant to you and your client by selecting one of these options. The item is not relevant to the entity. The item is relevant but has no effect on the financial statements. The item is relevant with a possible material effect on the financial statements. Or the item has a direct effect on financial statements. After selecting the relevant laws and regulations, click on the Submit button to submit your selection. The Select Acts button will stay at the top of the document, allowing you to add additional laws and regulations, or to change your earlier selection. After submitting the document, you may see one or all of the following three tabs, depending on your selections: laws that the entity is subject to, laws with material effect on the financial statements, and laws with direct effect on the financial statements. By analyzing the laws, acts, and regulations and selecting the effect on the financial statements, your document will be tailored to your selections and guide you through the level of detail or work required. The Laws that the entity is subject to tab has 5 columns. The first column lists the relevant laws, acts, and regulation names. There is no input required from you in this column. In the second column, you'll find a short description of these laws, acts, or regulations, which will give you a better understanding of the respective item. If necessary, you can change the short description to be more relevant to your client. In the next column, you need to document how the entity is complying with the relevant laws, acts, and regulations. In the fourth column, you can insert a reference to supporting documentation or other documents within your Caseware file if necessary. In the final column, you can raise a risk if necessary, relating to the law, act, or regulation here. If you raise a risk, you'll be prompted to perform work on the risk in other documents. The second tab lists all laws with material effect on the financial statements and has 5 columns. Again, note that you can change the laws, acts, and regulations displayed here by clicking on the Select Acts button and changing your selection. The first column details all procedures that should be followed. Note that there is no direct input required from you here. In the second column, use the drop-down box to indicate if non-compliance has been identified or not. If no non-compliance is identified, then column 3 will be signed off automatically. If, however, non-compliance is identified, a comment box will appear under the procedure where you can detail these findings. These findings may be acquired through inquiries from management, and if applicable those charged with governance, inspection of correspondence, and other relevant procedures. Once you are done identifying any non-compliance, you'll need to click on the Initials checkbox. The initials enable the reviewer to see who performed the work. The reference and risk columns are identical to those already described in the previous tab. The third and final tab lists all laws with direct effect on the financial statements and has 4 columns. In the first column is a list of all the laws and regulations with a direct effect on balances or disclosures in the financial statements. In the second column, you need to indicate where further audit procedures will be performed to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding compliance with these laws, acts, and regulations. After you've indicated where work on the laws, acts, and regulations will be performed, you have to click the checkboxes in the Initials column. This enables the reviewer to see who performed the work. The Risk column is identical to the Risk column already described on the first tab. Additional rows can be inserted at the end of a table. Right-click on the consideration and then click on Insert Row at the end of the table. The row will be inserted at the end of the table. If the Insert Row selection is disabled, it means that you are on a lower case view user level than set by the engagement partner in the probe firm settings. To delete a row, right-click on a row you have inserted and click on Delete Row. You can only delete rows that you or another user have inserted and will not be able to delete any pre-programmed ProbeMMX content. The Delete Row option will hide if there is any text in the row that you are trying to delete. The cell must be cleared before its row can be deleted. If the Delete Row item is disabled, it means that you are on a lower case view user level than set by the engagement partner in the probe firm settings. You can insert comments after procedures in the document. To do this, right-click on the procedure and then click on Insert Comment. The comment will be inserted underneath the procedure that you right-clicked on. To delete a comment, right-click on the comment and then click on Delete Comment. One of our amazing premium features offered to our premium users is Caseware Risk Space. Caseware Risk Space is an online community that provides content to help you document risks, controls, and management letter points. Premium users can import risks, controls, and management letter points from Caseware Risk Space into their template by clicking on the Caseware Risk Space icon. This will not only save you time typing, but will also ensure that the correct spelling and grammar are used, which will result in great report writing. You need to conclude this document after you have documented all the relevant laws, acts, and regulations and evaluated compliance and non-compliance by signing off the document. For more information, you can visit our website at www.probemmx.com, email us at probesupport@probeta.co.za, or call us on 010 595 QMMX today. Thank you for watching.